The Adventures of Sodor, Episode 55. Smudgers' reign of terror ends. One day at Croven's gate, Scarlet pulled up, where he met Rheneas. "Oh, I'm so worried about the engines going lost, Rheneas," said Scarlet. "It's just such a shame," he said, "that none of us engines feel safe," said Scarlet. Rheneas was about to reply when Fred came racing into Croven's gate. "Rheneas, Scarlet," said Fred.
"Hello, Fred,"
said Rheneas. Guys, said Fred. "What is it, Fred?" said Scarlet. "I'm hosting a race for you, Peter, Sam, Duncan, Rheneas, and Sir Handel and Duke to take part in," said Fred. "Isn't that half of the railway?" said Rheneas. Scarlet. "Well, yes, Scarlet, but it doesn't really matter that much. I made sure you're all off your work when it begins," said Fred. "If you say so then," said Scarlet. "Anyway, I hope you're looking forward to the race. Hope to see you there. Are you going to be there, Scarlet?" "Okay, Fred. What about you, Rheneas?"
"Okay, Fred."
"Okay, I'll see you soon," said Fred, and he raced off. "Fred is not acting as normal. He's not all lazy, Rheneas," said Scarlet. Rheneas quite agreed in his head. Soon all the engines arrived at Croven's gate sheds. "All right," said Fred. "When I say go, you will go and begin to win this race, okay?" said Fred. "Aren't you being a little out of character, Fred?" said Rheneas. Scarlet. Oh yes, sorry about that, Scarlet. About that, I'm just so happy today because I get to finally host my first race. Yes, that's funny. On your marks, 3, 2, 1, get set, be ready, just begin," said Scarlet. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, said Fred. And the engines flied off. "Wah! I'm racing along the tracks and the fastest engine on the railway," said Duncan. His wheels were whirring as fast as they could. "Oh no, I'm gonna win this race once and for all," said Sir Handel. But due to his rough riding, he derailed. "Well, bother," said Sir Handel. "I'm catching up, Duncan," said Peter Sam, as he raced along the tracks. He finally caught up to Duncan. "Hi, Duncan, bye, Duncan," said Peter Sam, and he raced along the tracks as fast as his wheels could carry him. Rheneas raced off without any words. He was very determined. "Oh, hey, Rheneas," said Duncan. "Bye, Rheneas," said Duncan. "Oh, hello, Rheneas. Oh, bye, Rheneas," said Peter Sam, as Rheneas took the lead, going as fast as his wheels could carry him. "You know, Scarlet," said Duke. "What?" said Scarlet. "I may be old, but I'm super fast due to the new parts I got a couple months ago." "Vroom!" said Duke, as he raced across the tracks. "Oh, hi, Duke," said Duncan. "Whee!" said Duke. He then saw Peter Sam. "Oh, no! Oh, you're so slow on traffic, Peter Sam," said Duke. "Don't blame me," said Peter Sam. "Time to take this race slow and steady," said Scarlet. No, said Sir Randall. Do it as fast as you can for me, said Sir Randall. Okay, said Scarlet. Surely nothing can go wrong and Smudger takes us. What could possibly go wrong? Smudger won't hate Scarlet, said Duncan. Hello. Hello, Duke and Peter Sam, said Scarlet. Oh, come on, said Peter Sam. Surely possibly nothing can go wrong. Smudger won't come and kill us or Sir Randall, right? Right, said Scarlet. Oh, hey, Rheneas, said Scarlet. You know, if you don't hurry up right now, I'm gonna get you, said Duke. Isn't that against your grace? Said Peter Sam. I just wanted to stop while you parts, said Duke. Okay, said Peter Sam. Whee! Woohoo! My funnel's wobbling since it's broken and it's having so much fun. Bye-bye, Rheneas and Scarlet, said Peter Sam. He went flying as fast as his wheels could carry him. He took the lead by far. Whee! My funnel's having so much fun, said Peter Sam. Whee! He said as he got sent onto the other track. I'm running, he said. Oh no, I'm catching back up, said Duncan. Hey, Duke, said Duncan. Yes, said Duke. About you being old but not slow. You're in last place, said Duncan. What? Said Duke. Yeah, you're in last place, said Duncan, as he went ahead of Duke. Well, what? Said Duke. Isn't that against your grace? Said Duncan. Okay, more bother, said Duke. Hee, laughed Duncan. Peter Sam, I'm coming, okay? Said Duncan. I'm not even properly friends with you, said Peter Sam. I'm friends with Fred, said Duncan. Fred doesn't even like you. I don't know what to say, said Duncan. Soon Duncan arrived right up behind Peter Sam. Hello, Peter Sam, said Duncan. Hello, said Peter Sam. Soon Rheneas got away from Scarlet, and his wheels were whirring as fast as they could go. I'm gonna win this, he thought. He was racing across the tracks. He knew that Fred's rewards for winning this race would be whatever you wanted, and he wanted what he wanted, which was a new coat of paint and new parts. Then Scarlet came racing across the line. His wheels were also whirring. I'm gonna win this, I'm the number one, he said, but he derailed. Oh no, I'm near the standard gauge tracks, he said. Then Stepney came racing down the line, while Scarlet was near the standard gauge tracks. Look out, Scarlet, said Stepney. Oh no, oh that was close, said Scarlet. Yes it was, oh, said Stepney. Where's the bluebells? I need to call Sir Topham, said Stepney. I need to catch up, said Duke. So he raced his wheels as fast as he could. Oh, it feels nice to be all alone on the railway though, said Duke. Oh hey Stepney, said Duke. Hello, can you call Sir Topham, Matt? Said Stepney. No, said Duke. Oh, said Stepney. because I'm too busy racing right now. Oh, hi, Scarlet, said Duke. Hello, Duke, said Scarlet. Duke soon catched up with Rheneas, Duncan and Peter Sam. So what are you all up to? Said Duke. You know what we're up to, said Peter Sam. Race then, said Duncan. And I'm gonna beat you to the finish line first, said Peter Sam. No, I will, said Duncan. But you're behind me and you can't get ahead of me until you get to the next station, said Peter Sam. My little brother, how are we supposed to have a fair race then? Said Duncan. I don't know, said Peter Sam. Peter Sam then came racing by where Sodor had his casualties with George. He came racing through the tunnel that, well, Duncan had troubles at. And then Peter Sam was crossing the points when... Say bye-bye to the rails, Peter Sam, said Fred. No, said Peter Sam. I actually got you off the rails, said Fred. You ruined my lead, Fred, said Peter Sam. Sorry, Peter Sam, said Fred. But why are you even trying to sabotage your own race? Said Peter Sam. Well, said Fred. I'm racing down the line, said Duncan. I need to catch up with Peter Sam. As he was racing down the line, he was thinking he was catching up to Peter Sam. I need to win this race, he said, so I can get wherever I want. He was singing his own little tune. As he also came up to the same place where Sodor had his problem with George, and you already know this is going to be said probably 2 more times for the narration when Duke and Rheneas passed by. I need to catch up with Peter Sam, said Duncan. Okay, let's change the song a bit, should we? I need to catch up with Peter Samo. Bye-bye, Fred, bye-bye, Peter Sam, said Duncan. I don't need to catch up with Peter Sam, I'm in the lead, yes I am, that is very true, said Duncan. And I am in the lead, speeding along the line. I am not causing confusion and delay or any trouble on the railway, said Duncan. He then derailed as he came to the points, due to his rough riding like Sodor. Well, brother, said Duncan. I'm gonna win this, said Duke. Rheneas didn't say a word as he sped off. Molly's been silent this entire episode, said Duke. You're not meant to talk out of the script, Duke. Okay, said Duke. Back into script. He's not talking a lot today, is he? Said Duke. As Rheneas sped up the line, he reached where George collided into Sodor. And blah blah blah, you know the rest if you watched the series and the books. No, read the books. When this waits for me, beat Rheneas, said Peter Sam. Don't, said Fred. And Rheneas was speeding down the line. He was zigzagging around when he saw Duncan. Bye-bye, Rheneas, said Duncan. Oh, hello, Rheneas, said Ivo. He then saw some small detonators on the tracks, and saw a green engine and a diesel in the distance, but they were very faded, so he couldn't see them. Then, and Rheneas came off the rails and hangs on the cliff. But didn't say a word other than that you heard. Should we help them? Said Ivo. Yeah, why not? Said Bertram. And as you know before, Duke was also racing down the line like everyone else because he wanted to also win the race like everyone else, so he could become streamlined. As he wanted to become even faster than the fastest engine in the world. I'm gonna be the fastest engine in the world. Yes I am, yes I am. I'm gonna be the fastest engine in the world. Yes I am. I'm gonna be the fastest engine in the world. Ah, said Duke. I've derailed. But then he saw George coming by. George, help me get back on the rails, said Duke. No, said George. I'll give you more coal out of my tender if you do, said Duke. Okay, said George. Duke was soon back on the rails and George was on his way. Thank you for the coal, said George. You're welcome. Even if it was the 100th time I'm giving you coal, said Duke. And he got back to racing across the line, singing his little song. All I want to be streamlined, that's all I want to be. I just want to be streamlined, yes I do. That is very, very true. Oh, hello, Peter Summerbird, how are you? Said Duke. We're fine, they said. As Duke was reaching the top of the hill, he eventually came by the mountains. Oh, he said, Duke, this is so nice. The breeze on my face, the breeze on my wheels is so nice, said Duke. I should really steam across the mountain more often. Oh my hello, Duncan, I see you derailed, said Duke. But I'm back on the rails, says Duncan. Thanks, Ivo, Hugh and Bertram over there. Hi, said Bertram. Oh my, Rheneas, what's happened? Said Duke. But Rheneas didn't answer. Haven't Ivo, Hugh and Bertram helped you yet? Oh, never mind. They might have not seen you. I don't blame them though, said Duke. He then saw a familiar engine in the distance. Ivo, Hugh, Bertram, derail the rest of the engines right now, said Duke. Woohoo! Now my plans cannot be stopped. Not even... Duke, said Smudger. Smudger, what you doing back here? Where's Diesel 20? Said Duke. He's off dealing with Albert and Proteus at the winch, said Smudger. Say, Smudger, why are you using Rheneas' model? Said Peter Sam. Well, it's because Great RJ1 cannot get my actual model in the game here, so he has to use Rheneas because of how difficult it was to get the actual Smudger model here. Just pretend I'm actually in Smudger's model, okay? Okay. Resume the story. I'm not going to put you down into the water, Duke. That's what you think, said Duke. Duke began to back up. What you doing, Duke? Said Smudger. Something I should have done to you, Smudger, all the way back when you was still a good engine on the Mid-Sodor Railway. Well, actually between season 2 and 3 of it, but... Well, actually in season 2, but... Whoa! I'm chasing you, Smudger, said Duke. Oh no, said Smudger. I have to run away. And Smudger ran away. However, he was heading over to the slate quarry, aka the winch. Help me, said Smudger. Then he came up to a piece of track that nearly derailed him, but the hand broke. Help me, said Smudger. Duke was giving chase to Smudger. He soon took the points leading over to Smudger. Smudger, I'm gonna get you at last, said Duke. No, said Smudger. Then Duke coupled up to Smudger and began to push him. I'm gonna do this to you, which I should have done all those years ago, said Duke. Soon, Rheneas and the other engines had arrived to stop Duke. Soon Bertram was arriving behind Ivo Hugh. "Stop this, Duke, that's not the brother I know," said Bertram. "Oh dear," said Ivo Hugh.
"Duke, stop this now."
"I don't think he heard us," said Duncan. "And I don't think he will," said Sir Randall. "Then," said Peter Sam, "we'll have to help Smudger ourselves," said Peter Sam. So Rheneas came up and coupled up to Duke. Next, Duncan went to help Rheneas. "We got you," said Duncan. "You may have been rude to us in the past on the Sodor Railway," said Sir Randall, "but that does not mean we're going to leave a fellow engine behind," said Sir Randall. "You may have been very villainous to us," said Scarlery, "but we're always open for new engines." "You may have broken my funnel," said Peter Sam, "but that's not going to stop me from helping you." "Smudger, we forgive you," said Ivo Hugh. "And I think that's pretty obvious." That came was Bertram. "Smudger, you may have been rude on your early years on the Mid-Sodor, but you were much nicer on your later years. We'd be glad to have you back," said Bertram. "What is this all talk about the Mid-Sodor Railway? Who even is Smudger?" said Smudger. Then the engines got all confused as they were re-railing Smudger. "No," said Duke. He was still trying to push Smudger, but the engines were pulling him back. "Well, you don't know who you are," said Bertram. "Well, of course I don't know. I'm not the real Smudger," said Smudger. This shocked the engines. "You mean to tell us that you're not the real Smudger after all?" said Duncan. "Yes, I've just been a clone of Smudger all along," said Smudger. "Then what's the real Smudger?" said Duncan. "You'll have to find out in the Mid-Sodor Railway Season 4, said Smudger. "Why are you helping him?" said Duke. "Duke, we need another engine right now after all the chaos clone Smudgers caused," said Duncan. "And he's perfect for the railway," said Duncan. "That's what you'll think," said Duke. Then they heard Diesel 20 coming. "Oh no, he's coming after me," said Smudger. "Wait, why would he come after you?" said Duncan. Well, he did say if he sees me getting rescued by you and turning to your size, he would get me," said Smudger. "You mean to tell you that we saved you for nothing?" said Duncan. "Yes," said Smudger. "Quickly, get Diesel 20 away to these points. If he gets on the bridge and comes to these broken tracks, he'll be derailed and plunge into the water," said Smudger. "That's very unsettling to me," said Duncan. "Yes, I know, but it's the best thing we can do." So Diesel 20 came racing in. "Yah!" he growled. But then he derailed on a piece of track, and he plunged into the water to never be seen again. "Oh," said Smudger, "that was close." "Yes, but what about Albert and, said Duncan. "Proteus, why are they still here?" said Duncan. "Wait," said Proteus. "Tell us the truth about me and Albert." "Duncan seems to be onto something," said Proteus. Yes, we must know more, said Albert, as he steamed up. From what I heard, I was scrapped years ago. So Smudger told the story of him, Proteus and Albert. So many years ago, me, Albert and Proteus have been clones, you could say. Well, there was drawings of us both, of us three, and someone decided to remake our designs and paint jobs. Unfortunately, we ended up with the same face, but I was the only one to end up with a different personality. And, well, Albert stayed the same, with a little bit of a difference. Proteus was still the cheerful engineer he was, and I was now more villainous, more like Diesel 10. So, that's what happened. The cloning basically failed, so me and Albert and Proteus are the last engines left, and the only engines made from the cloning, said Smudger. We'll gladly bring you onto the railway, said Duncan. Then Duke realised his mistakes. I'm sorry, said Duke. I had no idea you're a clone, said Duke. The fact is, though, is that my name is actually not Smudger, said Smudger. What? Said Duke. This shocked the engines again. Then what is your name? Said Duke. It's Yanlock, said Smudger. I see why they called you Smudger. Younglock is a very complicated name, isn't it? Said Duke. Yes, said Smudger. But I did have something to do with the race, said Smudger. Oh yeah, Fred told me about it, said Peter Sam. Wait, what? Said Scarlet. Fred was a part of their plans, said Scarlet. Yes, he told me that he only became part of their plans because they promised him fresh diesel fuel and a fresh new coat of paint, said Peter Sam. Well, that diesel's still really lazy, isn't he? Said Scarlet. Yes, can't even go to the diesel fuel depot just to get some coal, fuel, said Peter Sam. Like, I guess diesels are very protective over the fuel, but I didn't know they were that protective, said Bertram. However, all the engines accepted Locke to be allowed on the railway. And even Mr. Percival agreed to it. And, well, everyone was happy. Smudger was excited to pull his first train, young Locke. And Rheneas, he was excited to tell Smudger how to do the trains. And Duncan, Peter, Sam, Duke and Scarlet were happy that they let young Locke on their railway. And everyone was happy. I'm right here, you know, said Fred. Fred slowly rolled up to the sheds. However, Rheneas thought of an idea on payback on Fred.
And for you, Fred, I think you should work at the steamworks for a while.
Who's about to go mad? Said Scarlet. The steamworks? Not the steamworks! Anything but the steamworks! No! I don't want to go to the steamworks! I want to be lazy and just stay in my yard! and sliding all day. I just want to be in museum, please help me. I don't want to go to the Steamworks. No!
Good luck, Fred.
So Fred was sent to work at the Steamworks for many months to come. I don't want to do anything, Victor. Can I please have a rest? I've been working my wheels off, said Fred. No, my friend, you gotta be working, and if you're not working, then you're going to be really useless, and you might get scrubbed by Mr. Percival. Is that clear? Said Victor. Oh, okay, Victor, said Fred. Whoa, slip of the hook, said Kevin. Did you really have to bash that's real suited for Spencer over there? Oh my nose, Kevin! Slip of the hook. I will say, Rheneas, said Smudger. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to see you, sir. I mean young Locke,
said Rheneas, and the engines were happy that they knew no more engines were gonna raid their railway. So hello YouTube, GreatRJ1 here. Sorry if the E2's family's voice was a little quiet in the video, if I had it too loud. It was basically really hurt my ears on the recording. So yeah. Plus I think it might have been a bit loud for you all. But he did help with Rheneas' lines. I'm really happy that he was able to reprise Rheneas' role, as that was his role for many episodes of the Avengers of Sodor. And he recorded his lines back in November, so his lines have been waiting for about 2 months now, well, nearing 2 months. But yeah, this episode actually had been planned since 2020. It took over a year. It took about a year or so just to get out. Well, it was planned to have another Smudger episode. This was not the original plan though. This plan only came up about maybe mid and after 2020. But do excuse me using Rheneas' model for Smudger. It was not to show him in a red livery. It was actually literally just meant to be because of this Smudger model in the Steamworks not just being able to exit. I just could not get it out. There would be something wrong where on the turning of the turntable he would just come off the rails, or he'd come off the rails here, or he'd come off the rails somewhere over there. It was always just coming off the rails and I couldn't get him there. And then I think one of the times where I finally got him there, it was with the Rheneas model, he derailed, so I had to come and get him back. And Diesel 20 was meant to appear, which is an OC that belongs to one of my friends, ToyerToysYT, by the way. He was also meant to appear, but he got stuck on the point and I could just not be bothered to get him back because of how much trouble I also had getting him back there. This episode was really annoying to make, but it was also a kind of fun. And yeah, you may think the engines accepting Smudger to be part of the railway might have been a little weird, but it was also explained that he was not the real Smudger, which I think would have calmed Stu down to know that he was not the real Smudger. So yeah, and I know I sort of broke some of the law put into one of the first episodes of the narrow gauge railway in the Avengers of Sodor, where it was said that Proteus's parts were remade and Proteus was rebuilt out of the parts that after he plunged into the water. That sort of broke, but then it was sort of true, as the original plan was actually to have the engine's parts be taken from the original engines to be rebuilt. That I was going to put in, but then I decided not to, so it sort of completely broke how that law works. I might but to be honest, it would have to, might have been rewritten somehow anyway. Anyway, that's basically it. I hope you enjoy this Smudger arc. Now, this will definitely not be the last appearance of the narrow gauge railway. I did just think, should I make it the last appearance, but I don't think it should. Even though there's going to be very little episodes of this series ever coming out, I think it would still be fun to have more episodes of the narrow gauge railway when I think of some. But then I've done so much of the narrow gauge railway, however, already, and I can't really do much more with how the standard gauge tracks are working. If you don't know right now, when it has that overlap track, where you have the narrow gauge and the standard gauge lines, the standard gauge engines cannot run on the track. They have to keep on fixing. The team on this game have to keep on fixing it, and they just ended up, I'm pretty sure, just stopping fixing it because of how much trouble it was causing. But yeah, anyways, this video was meant to come out back on December 24th, but I ended up deciding to not do it. Plus, it might have been a bit, plus there were parts of the episode, plus it might have been a little too dark for the time. But then there's not much darkness of his story in it. And I think having Fred in the episode, and him being out of character, just so he could get some fuel, which puts him back into character, was quite a funny addition. But yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and a little bit of trivia on this series. The name I gave Smudger was actually a name in Chinese, I'm pretty sure. So yeah. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now, I forgot to mention that Peter Sam did get his funnel fixed when Fred went to the Steamworks. If you didn't know, I keep on having errors in the episodes where Peter Sam has his new funnel when it's meant to be all wonky, and I forget to put that funnel on. There's no new funnel, wonky funnel, it's just the old funnel that's wonky. But yeah, in one of the early episodes with Smudger, his funnel was all wonky, so I kept on forgetting to put that back in, so it ended up just always not being there, and then I do it every now and then, so I've remembered to put it in halfway in the a bit in his appearance, so. But I did to the recording of the voice lines done for Rheneas, it was actually only 24 seconds, so he had 24 seconds basically of talking. At least there had at least under 30 seconds of talking, which compared to the screen time he had, that's only like that's not even half of a quarter of it really. But yeah, he didn't really have a lot of dialogue, and there was actually more dialogue meant to be put in, but I think the E2 family didn't quite notice it, and he accidentally, and because I didn't separate it from the actual first part of it, and it was Scarlo, and it was him talking to Scarlo, worrying about the engines disappearing, and he didn't feel safe anymore. I think the E2 family didn't quite realise that was meant to be part of the lines, as he didn't put it into it, and I think if I did separate them, it wouldn't have been such a big problem. Because when I put it to him at the time, I did not put it in separate parts, it was all put together, so at least the first line, so yeah, that was a bit of a problem. But this video is featuring 40 minutes, so I have to end it now. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said 1,000 times before, in this video, expect more miniature gauge episodes of the Avengers of Sodor to come out, along with more mid-Sodor railway episodes, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.